I'm going to go through stuff I've written down. I literally hit thousands of balls and write stuff down. You know, this is my VR 3D lab. This is my research lab, GForce Golf. This is where I do all the research on the golf swing to give you the best and simplest information, right? So, you know, I've hit some shots here and I've got some feelings, and I write down what works, what doesn't work, and then I'm going to put it in an order so you can use it as a troubleshooting guide as well. So, number one, you must practice into a net. Okay, forget about ball flight. You've got to get the strike. You've got to get the feel for the strike, compressing that ball, right? There's probably 3 different types of shot you're going to hit. Maybe 4. Okay, you're going to hit it thin. You're either going to hit it fat. You're going to strike it, which is going to feel all right. You're going to compress it. And then you're going to compress it like you've never compressed it before in your life. You know, all this stuff I'm going to show you, it's going to be unbelievable. So, yeah, obviously, what I'm saying is you're going to hit it terrible all over that face. Eventually, you're going to find the middle. Then you're going to compress it, squash the ball. You know, when you hit a golf ball, we want to squash it. The more you squash it, the more control you get with that ball, further it goes, right? So you're going to, first of all, we're going to find the middle of the club. Then we're going to compress it. And then what I'm talking about, what I'm feeling, I can really compress it more than anybody. So there's a way we've got to do things. It's the opposite of what's being told out there. There's a lot of stuff saying you got to get into that right side and then, you know, crush the can with the left foot, all that sort of stuff. Now, you actually want to crush the can straight away with that left foot. You don't want to get into the right side. That's why you're no good at golf. So what I'm feeling is staying down in the left side. Okay, we've got to lean into it more on the backswing. You have to exaggerate, actually going more this way on the backswing. Left side down, keep it down. Force pulls you up. Yeah, solid. So left knee goes down, not really down, really low, and then as you pull down, as the club starts to release, the ground pushes back. I feel like I'm whipping it through. Shouldn't feel fast when you're swinging down. It shouldn't feel swipey. It should feel heavy. It should be very slower in the transition. It should feel like you're pushing down. There's pressure going down. The double pendulum that I've talked about before. Okay, let's say the shoulders are turning to the backswing. You've got your wrist here, left shoulder socket here. This is the key thing I've found out. It's to do with the left shoulder socket and the hands in the transition, which is what, you know, we're going to be talking about in more detail. We can get automatic release. I've talked about that in the last video. We can also get automatic vertical force using the ground. Okay, you're told to use the ground in your swing, but if you haven't positioned yourself properly at the top of your swing, that's just not going to happen. We can use the ground. We can position the body at the top of the swing in a way you will use the ground automatically. The harder you go, the lower you need to go. That basically means the more force you apply in the golf swing, the lower you need to be able to balance out that force. Otherwise, you're going to fall over. You know, it's important to video yourself from face on. I'll go through reasons why. In another video, you've also got to get a line through the center of your body, because we need to make sure on the backswing, rather than moving off or away from the target, you actually need to feel like you're moving more into the target before you transition. Line on the top of the head. Your head doesn't stay where it is. Okay, it drops straight away, and then as you come down, it drops more, and then it backs up and stuff. So that's good stuff to talk about as well. This is really important for me. Left knee down low, lean into it. Then the ground pushes back. Okay, that's really important. Your left side shrinks. That's the left knee going down. So we're lowering down into the ground. You know, I can show you that on gears. Lower left side, fall into. When I say fall into, I'm talking fall into the target. That's the feeling I get. look back at the players who used to lift the left heel off the floor. That's what was going on. That left heel, that left side, left knee, left shoulder socket are going to be really, really key to you improving your golf. So a piston, pump, centrifugal pump. I remember Sean Clements talking about a centrifugal pump many, many years ago, but I feel the left side is really important, and it's almost like a piston that goes down, and then your right shoulder or your right side will go up. So it's like two opposite pistons. The left side drops, and then as you come down, as you create all that force, instinctively the ground, the force you create, the ground will push back in the opposite direction, thrusting that left side up. So I call it a piston, left side piston. What else we got? Push into the left foot on the backswing. Okay, that's really important. Crush the can in your left foot on the backswing. Don't move over here, then crush the can. Okay, you've got to do it first. Get under it. That was a feeling I had, like in weightlifting. You know, you get a bar, you get under it, push it up. Okay, I feel like I'm getting under the golf club as I'm swinging it back. Reverse lag, paintbrush feeling. So that's sort of, you know, that keeping the wrist free. Talk about the 3 degrees of motion, getting all that stuff right. Soft hands and wrists. Loose pendulum. Okay, when we've got 2 pendulums, we've got pendulum 1, shoulders and arms, a triangle, and then we've got the wrists, hands, and then we've got the club head pendulum 2. This needs to be really free. Okay, you can't lock it out. Toss axe back, shoulder tilt. Right, if I'm gonna chop a tree down, got my axe here, I'm gonna toss it back. Right, I'm gonna go down here and lean in a little bit to balance out the force of the axe coming down. A little bit more stuff, what got me questioning the golf swing. When I developed these things, the GForce Swing Trainers, I could never figure out how I could hit the balls so well with them. So the reason why I've gone down this path is because I had to understand the physics and mechanics of the golf swing to explain to you how this thing works and how to use it properly. Dissipate the excess force on the follow through. Remember Arnold Palmer's, his finish was like a twirl in the wrist. I understand why he does that now, because I've almost developed that into my swing. Not through choice, it just happened because I'm allowing my central nervous system, my brain, I'm leaving everything to it. I'm creating that force and then allowing it to, you know, dissipate the energy somewhere, rather than me trying to grab hold of it and, you know, manipulate it and move it around. That's going to cause injuries. That's where injuries come from. Okay, you're going to see, we see it now, we see a lot of the, you know, modern day tour players, they're not really going to be hitting that seniors tour, I don't think. We go back in the late 80s when I started playing, 90s, Bernard Langer, good example, you know, playing seniors tour, and they're still fit, and, you know, they were doing this stuff, we can all do it. Just hits the net, completely different compression, using the ball control. Finish feels different. So I'm dissipating the energy through the hands, keeping it in this second pendulum, not letting it come back into my body, which will cause injuries. What else we got? Dissipate the force, get under the bar. Don't overpower the force when you just try and harness it. Okay, slower, smoother, feels heavy, pressure down, ball under water drill. This is stuff Pete Cowan talks about. He never tells you straight. He'll just, you know, and that's what a great coach is. Someone who, it doesn't give you everything, doesn't give you all the rope. It's like, okay, there's a little idea, there's a concept, and it makes you want to go out and find out more about it. And that's what's got me here. So I can understand where it's coming from with this pressure down and the ball under the water drill. I'll show you that as well. Pressure down, feel like smooth transition, gradually accelerating, pushing down, pressure down, ball under the water, big carry drill. Quicker transition, that's okay, all right, if you're in the right position, it's all right. If you're a stronger player, you hit the ball harder, it's okay to be coming down faster compared to someone who comes down slower. But if you're coming down faster, you've got to make sure that you're lower. Your center of gravity must be lower. Your center of gravity is your balance point in your swing. Okay, so it's right about here, let's say. So the more force you apply on your body, the lower you need to be able to balance that out, basically. So if I'm chipping, I'm just going to stay, normal center of gravity. I'm hitting a driver, giving it some, I need to go lower. Otherwise it's going to pull me over. What else we're looking at? Down, leaning more, feels like a get down low on the left side. Then really smooth transition, pressuring down, feeling. So the transition, it's got to accelerate gradually. Okay, we don't want to rush it down. If you rush it down, it releases early. We saw that with the flail demo that I did. So it's hard to do, but you've got to come down gradually. It's almost like, all right, if I feel like I'm pulling down, but it could be gravity, it could be the gravity taking over, like a swing in a park, going back and through. So, gravity's doing the work. We let it work. As it speeds up, we push it further down. So you got to play around with it. I'm saying this stuff, but you need to go out and try it. Okay, I can't just say to you, right, there you go, that's all the answers. You need to actually go and find and feel it yourself. Quick. Smoother, slower transition. Still too fast. Too fast. Left side lower, piston. Smooth transition, gradual acceleration, pressure down. Pressure the ball. Right, keep pulling to outrace the flip. So this is really important. As we're coming down, I feel like I'm pulling as the club releases. Talks about the centripetal force. I feel like I'm pulling on the grip constantly as it goes through. Like a hammer thrower in athletics. Once they've got the big steel ball and they're twirling it around, they're rotating, they're constantly pulling in the opposite direction of the force to keep the tension in the string or shaft. Okay, so you've got to keep pulling to maintain that, to outrace the flip. If you stop pulling, the club will flip, and that's why you're struggling to get a good impact position. But again, other stuff that we can cover. Left knee collapse, that's what it feels like. The left side shrinks, it just drops down and goes up like a piston, down, up. It's such a simple swing thought. It's all to do with your left side, not just the right side. I would actually forget about the right side, and unfortunately everything out there, all the instruction out there, even the new stuff that's coming out, it's just all this, get into that right side. But I tell you now, it's not. It's the complete opposite. And I can tell you why. It's because I've done all that getting to the right side, and I did it for years like you with no success. And then you question stuff, and this is why it's brought me here to this point, because it's really about the left shoulder socket, the left knee, what that's doing, the left foot, this left side dropping down. And then it's really about the transition, getting that feeling of you're lower on that left side, and then you pull the club first. You don't let your shoulders go first, otherwise you come over the top. Right, so this is a good one. Just scribble this out. So here's that pendulum that we did on the wall the other week. So it lowers, the left shoulder lowers here. It lowers down and then it goes up, so it goes down and up. And here's the club here, here's the wrist, here's the club. So it's going down, we're lowering the center of gravity, and then as the ground pushes back, it's thrusting us up, and it causes this to flip and release forward. So that's the sort of stuff I'm looking at and feeling. Problems I get, I'm either not low enough on my left side, I'm not leaning into the target enough on the backswing, I'm not soft or passive on the wrist or hands, I'm not keeping the freeness or the hinge in my wrist, or I'm too fast in transition. These are problems that I'm finding, and this is my feedback that I give myself. So typically if I'm not low enough on my left side, I thin it. So then I say to myself, not low enough, so then I go lower, uncomfortably low, and then I crush it. Same goes for number 2, not leaning in. 3, so it's going to be like just a handful of feedback essentials that you're going to have. We're going to keep it simple. I know there's a lot of stuff on this board here, but I'm going to be able to break it down for you. So appreciate you watching this. Catch you soon.